Turner. I mean, it's not him. I don't even know who the other candidate is for the American. And it's not, who is it? Maeda. It's not him. So, I mean, you're going to give it to Seager. He's the NL Rookie of the Year. He's played 6 home runs. He played shortstop, played it adequately. Turner came up late in the year, a lot of different positions. I know he hit 340. But I don't think anybody's going to argue Seager's going to be the NL Rookie of the Year. The American League Rookie of the Year is a little more of a dicey scenario because of the Gary Sanchez involvement. But he only had the 2 months, despite the 20 home runs. I think you have to give it to Fulmer. He, for the most part, all year long, was a big part of that Tiger pitching staff. They were in the divisional race in that last weekend of the season. He won 10 ball games. Again, he fizzled late, picked up by Verlander, but I don't think anybody's going to argue with Fulmer as the American League Rookie of the Year. I am certainly not going to do that. As far as the managers of the years are concerned in both leagues, I think that's pretty basic too. Francona, Bannister, and Buck Showalter. I could mention Girardi. He did a great job keeping the Yankees in the mix. He was not the manager of the year. Francona doesn't have a huge payroll. Indians were not necessarily predicted to win the division to begin with. Bannister is good, but the team was good the year before. The Orioles didn't win the division. They were a wild card team. I don't have any problem giving it to Francona. The NL is Dave Roberts, it's Dusty Baker, and of course you're talking Joe Madden. You want to throw, if you wish, Terry Collins in there who kept his team afloat with all his injuries, got some wild cards. I could do that if you wish. I mean, I could give it to Roberts because he didn't have Kershaw for 2 months. I don't have any problem with that. I'm not going to have any problem with who you choose as far as the NL is concerned. I'll probably end up giving it to Joe Madden. A lot of expectations, never blinked an eye, won 103 games. The Cubs, anytime you win there in Chicago, I don't have any problem giving it to him. So the managers of the years and the rookies of the years are okay. This is where there's a little controversy. The American League MVP, the top 3 vote getters are Trout, Altuve, and Mookie Betts. Now, I don't have any problem with nor the Red Sox. I will not have put Ortiz in here because you didn't put Rizzo in the NL, so I'm not going to put Ortiz in the American League. I would have put Manny Machado in there overall. Altuve, he's the best defensive third baseman in the sport. Yes, I know that's a bandbox of a ballpark. Yes, I know he's got a million guys who hit home runs there. But Machado's their best player. He had 296. He had, 30-something home runs. Here's your statistics. I couldn't have had 294. I wouldn't have had a problem if you put Machado in there as far as the MVP is concerned, as far as the American League goes. I mean, obviously, when you look at the American League MVP vote, you have obviously Zach Whitten you can consider here down the road. I'm not giving it to Trout. Betts is the only guy that's got 200 runs produced, and that's a statistic that I believe in. That is RBIs and runs scored minus the home runs. Betts is at 206. Nobody's at 200 in the American League outside of Betts. So I would give it to Betts myself. The MVP in the American League, Red Sox won the division. The Angels were awful. They were a terrible team all year. They could have been terrible with or without doubt, made no difference. Altuve's team fizzled the last week of the season. They did not make the playoffs. They never led in their division. Betts, of course, was the anchor. Now, it's a very good offensive team, but he was the anchor of a good offense all year long. They won the division. I would go Betts in the American League for the MVP. The NL, I'm going to give it to Bryant. I'm not giving it to Daniel Murphy, I'm sorry. And I'm not giving it to the third candidate there, Seager. I'm giving him already the American League Rookie of the Year. I could sit a National League Rookie of the Year. If you want me to throw in, if you want me to, I can make Rizzo a top 2 candidate. They split the vote. They go Bryant. His versatility, played all 3 positions. Obviously, he's a big hitter, a lot of home runs, the whole 9 yards. Played right, played left, played third base, played all the defensive positions adequately, had some versatility, was their best player from an offensive perspective. I don't have any problem giving it to him. I know Murphy had a great year too, lousy defense. Nationals, he was a great free agent pickup. They get votes, they get some consideration. I would have given it to, I don't vote, I vote for Brian. I'm not going to have any issues with that. The issue, of course, for the debate is the American League Cy Young. Porcello, Verlander, those are 2 of your candidates. And then Corey Kluber's the third. Kluber had an anchor of staff with a lot of injuries. He won 18 games, had a very good ERA. He was spotty early in the year, wasn't as consistent as you'd like. 18-9, 3-1-4. Verlander came on strong, understand that. Porcello had run support galore. He won 22 ball games with not a great ERA, not a good ERA, but not unbelievable. I could have given Aaron Sanchez, I would have put him in the mix here. 15-2, led the league in the American League in ERA. He was the best pitcher on that staff. I would have put him in there with my top 3. And then, of course, great. I mean, I don't buy the idea that you can't give relievers MVP awards. It's been done a million times. Ronnie Fingers won. Willie Hernandez won. So it's not like Mariano should have won. So you could make it. I don't buy the idea of the innings pitched. That's a bunch of nonsense. They save a magician to make these awards. It's a bunch of garbage. They don't know what they're talking about half the time. You can't sit there and tell me, and here's Buck Joe on this quote, you can't sit there and tell me that Zach Wick wasn't the top 3 or 4 pitchers in the American League in 2016. That team was anchored by their bullpen. He was unhittable with a .56 ERA. I understand the postseason has no consideration. We all killed Buck for not using him in that wild card game. But he was unhittable all season long. How in the world he doesn't get in the top? I'm not saying he's got to win it. But how he doesn't get in the top 3, I have no. I would have got Sanchez, and I would have put Britton in there. I probably would have taken Verlander out. I don't know where the other one I would have taken out. It's a tough call. I probably would have left Kluber in there because he had to anchor that staff and they won the division. It's a tough call. I'm not saying it's not cut and dry, but Britton specifically had to be in the top 3, and I can obviously make the case for Sanchez too over Porcello. As far as the NL, I mean, listen, there's not a ton of pitchers. You want to scream about Syndergaard? 14-9. Helped the Mets second half of the year and had all those injuries with the pitchers. You want to make a slight case for Bumgarner? Go ahead. Had a 2-something ER, 2.7 ERA. Won 14, 15 ball games. You know, obviously Scherzer, who didn't do his job as far as I'm concerned in the postseason as well as he should have for the money they pay him. And then Lester, and then Hendricks. It's hard to give it to Cubs because their pitching staff was so good. There was never that pressure on the one guy. Arrieta won 18 games. Lester had a great year. Obviously, Hendricks had a good year. They even had Hamels. Hard to give a Cy Young to a Cub pitcher when the whole staff was phenomenal. So I'm not sure if I would give it to a Cub. I mean, I don't like to give it to Max Scherzer, but he won 20 games. I mean, you know, Strasburg was in and out. They won the division. The division was a layup, but they won the division. I'm not a huge fan. But if you want to give it to Scherzer, I guess you can give it to Max Scherzer with the National League Cy Young. I mean, the outcry to me is obviously what you're doing with Britton. He's got to be part of some category in the American League. It's not like you have Ron Guidry here with the Cy Young. It's not like you have Lou Gehrig with the MVP. He's got to be mentioned in one of those 2 categories in the American League. It's a no-brainer. He was unhittable on a team that made the playoffs with the best bullpen in the American League, if not the sport. He's got to be, they have to have some representation there. That to me is a bit of a surprise. There you have it as far as those awards are concerned. And the runs